You know the IV drip, right? It's probably one of the most recognized symbols of modern medicine. But what if I told you that this simple, everyday tool has a hidden flaw, one that could actually stop life-saving medicine from ever doing its job?
Okay, so picture this. You're in the hospital, and you're hooked up to an IV, getting some critical medication. The little machine is beeping away, the bag is slowly emptying, everything looks totally normal. But what if a huge chunk of that drug never actually makes it into your body?
And this is not some far-fetched hypothetical. It's a real, documented problem. The very equipment that's supposed to heal us can sometimes get in the way. The cure can literally get stuck in the tube. So let's break down exactly how this happens.
The sciencey term for it is drug material sorption. I know, it sounds a little complicated, but the idea behind it is super simple. You know how when you have an oily salad dressing, it just clings to the inside of the plastic bottle? Well, some really important medications do the exact same thing. They just stick to the plastic surfaces of the IV bag and the tube.
Now here's the really wild part. This isn't some brand new discovery. Nope. Researchers have known about this for more than 40 years. It's a massive problem that's been hiding in plain sight, affecting some of our most critical drugs. And the amount of medicine that gets lost, it can be staggering. Yep, you're seeing that right. In some cases, as much as 60% of a drug's dose can be lost before it even gets a chance to leave the IV line. Let's look at a few really crucial examples to see what this actually means for a patient.
Okay, so take diazepam. This is a drug used to stop life-threatening seizures. Studies have shown that up to 60% of the dose can get stuck inside standard PVC tubing in just the first 30 minutes. In a true emergency, losing over half the dose could be the difference between stopping that seizure or not.
Or think about insulin, which is so important for controlling blood sugar. Now, for the most vulnerable patients, like a tiny premature baby in the NICU, getting these incredibly precise, small doses through long tubes, up to 54% of that insulin can get lost in certain kinds of catheters. That makes a baby's blood sugar dangerously unpredictable.
And for a patient experiencing acute heart failure, nitroglycerin is an absolutely key treatment. But at the slow drip rates that are often used, a huge portion of the drug just sticks to the IV tubing. That means a delay in treatment when, every single second counts. So why on earth is this happening?
Well, here's the twist. The problem isn't really with the drug itself. It's all about the reaction between the drug and the plastic that's used in most IV systems. So let's take a look at the usual suspects.
Research points again and again to a few really common materials. Plasticized PVC is the biggest offender, by far. But polyurethane and silicone, which you find a lot in catheters, are also big culprits for drug sorption. And the thing is, these are some of the most common plastics used in medicine today.
And as if losing the medicine wasn't bad enough, there's actually another problem. It's something that comes from the plastic itself. Chemicals can actually leak out of the material and go right into the medication. The main chemical we're worried about is called DEHP. It's a type of chemical, a plasticizer, that's used to make PVC soft and flexible. But here's the catch. It can also leak out into the IV fluid. DEHP is a known endocrine disruptor, and the risk is, again, highest for the most vulnerable, critically ill patients and newborn babies who get the most exposure to all this plastic.
So, okay, we've got a two-part problem. Drugs getting stuck to the plastic and chemicals leaking out of it. It sounds pretty complicated, right? But the good news is, a new framework, led by nurses, has been developed to tackle this problem head-on, right at the patient's bedside.
And this really shows the solution perfectly. This thing, the Selwan Sorption-Safe framework, isn't just some academic idea. It is a practical, step-by-step tool, and it empowers nurses, the people on the absolute front line of patient care, to turn a really complex science problem into a simple, clear decision.
And the logic is really straightforward. First up, you identify if the drug itself is a high-risk one. Second, you figure out the risk of the IV materials being used. Third, you look at the context. Is it a really slow drip rate? Fourth, you think about the patient. Are they especially vulnerable? And finally, based on all that, you take action, like maybe choosing a totally different kind of IV tube.
When you start using a framework like this, it leads to one clear outcome. We start making way smarter choices about the materials we use. And this has a huge impact on patient safety. And hey, as a nice little bonus, it's also much better for the environment.
I mean, the difference is pretty stark.
On one hand, you have the old standard, PVC, with its high risk of losing drugs and exposing patients to DHP. On the other hand, you have modern polymers, like polyolefin, or even glass containers. These give you stable, reliable drug delivery, and they are free of those harmful plasticizers. It's a no-brainer.
So why does all this matter so much? Well, for patients, it's simple. It makes sure they get the medicine and the right dose of it every single time. For hospitals, it pushes them to create better policies for buying equipment and writing safety rules. And it moves healthcare toward a green hospital model, where taking care of patients and taking care of the planet actually go hand in hand.
And really, the big takeaway here is this powerful shift in thinking. We have to stop looking at this drug loss issue as some kind of unavoidable technical glitch. Instead, we need to see it for exactly what it is, a risk that is predictable, preventable, and something that nurses can actually modify and fix. We have the knowledge, we have the tools, we just have to use them.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If something as seemingly simple as the plastic in an IV tube can have such a massive impact, what other invisible details, what other things hiding in plain sight, are quietly shaping how well patients recover and the entire future of medicine?